Hello there, and welcome to the six-part Hands Together webinar series. Hands Together seeks to empower adult educators and seniors experiencing memory loss, including dementia, by providing inclusive and accessible intergenerational learning experiences. Using innovative VR and AI-powered tools, the project fosters meaningful connections, stimulates cognitive engagement, and encourages shared learning across generations. By blending technology with empathy-driven education, it creates opportunities for seniors to thrive and for educators to enhance their skills in supporting diverse learners. My name is Esme, and I'm here today representing Emphasis Center in Cyprus. Please feel free to read our disclaimer. This webinar is the fourth in the Hands Together series. So far, we've covered Introduction to Intergenerational Learning, Understanding Generational Characteristics and Needs, Digital Tools for Intergenerational Learning, and today we dive into topic 4, Designing Inclusive Intergenerational Learning Activities. Upcoming webinars will explore community-based learning and dementia-specific strategies. In this webinar, we'll explore how Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, helps create flexible environments for all ages. We'll examine how intergenerational activities build empathy and shared understanding. We'll also cover how to define learning goals, evaluate outcomes, and ensure inclusivity by addressing common barriers. And finally, we'll look at the role of youth as facilitators and how feedback loops improve activity design. UDL is a framework focused on flexibility in how information is presented, how learners demonstrate what they know, and how they are engaged in learning. It emphasizes three main principles that support inclusive education. First, multiple means of engagement refers to how we motivate and involve learners by offering choices that tap into their interests, challenge them appropriately, and keep them engaged. Second, multiple means of representation involves presenting content in different ways to accommodate a variety of different learning styles and needs. This might include using visuals, audio, text, or hands-on activities. Third, multiple means of action and expression provides learners with various options for demonstrating what they know, whether through writing, speaking, drawing, or using technology. These principles are outlined by CAST, the Center for Applied Special Technology, and the creators of Universal Design for Learning. Here are their guides. This is a valuable resource for educators when planning inclusive and accessible learning activities. UDL provides equity from the start. It promotes inclusion, enhances learner engagement, improves access through varied content formats, and reduces the need for one-off accommodations or on-the-spot adjustments to activities, which can be helpful for the learner, but stressful for the educator. It supports inclusivity and is in alignment with legal policies. Here are two great resources with more specific detail on these frameworks and European standards for your information. First are the guiding principles of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which emphasize respect for the inherent dignity, autonomy, and independence of persons with disabilities, including their freedom to make their own choices. They promote non-discrimination, full and effective participation in society, equality of opportunity, accessibility, and respect for diversity. The principles also stress the importance of equality between men and women and safeguarding the rights of children with disabilities. The second is a link for the European Accessibility Act, which has mandated that all EU member states enforce accessibility standards for various digital and physical products and services. Basically, by proactively adopting these standards, organizations can align with the EAA's requirements and foster inclusive digital experiences. By understanding and referencing these frameworks and standards, educators can more confidently design learning environments that are inclusive, accessible, and supportive for all learners. Most importantly, UDL nurtures self-regulated learners, which is an asset in any educational setting. UDL helps create shared, meaningful learning spaces for different age groups. It's especially powerful in intergenerational settings where varied cognitive and physical needs exist. Using UDL, we foster collaboration and create age-friendly learning environments that celebrate diversity. Here we have the website by KS, the Norwegian Association of Local and Regional Authorities, which showcases some good examples of universal design on a much larger scale across various sectors, including education, public spaces, and digital services. It serves as an inspirational resource highlighting practical, real-world implementations that promote accessibility and inclusion for all individuals, but specifically geared toward the elderly. In dementia care, inclusive intergenerational activities can improve mood, reduce isolation, and foster moments of joy. To be effective, these activities must be accessible for individuals with cognitive impairments while remaining engaging for younger participants, which is a careful balance that ensures everyone benefits. Universal Design for Learning provides a framework to achieve this balance by guiding the creation of activities that are flexible, inclusive, and adaptable to the needs of all participants. With this foundation in place, we can move from thinking about the overall learning environment to considering the specific steps that shape the learning journey. Let's now shift our focus from the environment and framework to how we plan activities for learning itself. That begins with clear, inclusive learning objectives. Firstly, a learning objective is a clear, specific statement that describes what a learner should know, understand, or be able to do after the activity. So, objectives should be grounded in purpose. For example, what do you want participants to learn, feel, or experience? This isn't just about cognitive outcomes, but also emotional and social growth. Objectives provide structure for the activity and ensure that it's meaningful for all involved. They also help educators anticipate potential challenges and plan strategies to support engagement, ensuring that every participant can actively contribute. Now, for intergenerational activities, we must understand our participants, meaning we should be aware of their sensory sensitivities, physical needs, languages, cultural backgrounds, and levels of familiarity with dementia or any other conditions. By linking objectives to inclusive principles such as UDL, facilitators can design activities that are flexible, accessible, and adaptable, promoting participation and enjoyment for everyone. Finally, well-defined objectives allow for reflection and evaluation, helping educators measure the impact of the activity and continuously improve future sessions. Let's take a look at how we can simply structure and facilitate an activity for meaningful intergenerational collaboration. The structure of the activity is broken down into three parts. We begin with a warm-up lasting around 5 to 10 minutes. This includes greetings, music, or a shared sensory cue to help participants settle in and feel connected. Next is the main activity, which lasts 20 to 25 minutes. During this time, participants engage in hands-on creation, singing, or storytelling. Basically, activities that naturally encourage sharing and bonding across generations. Finally, we wrap up the session in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Here, participants share their results, reflect on the experience, and say goodbye, creating a sense of closure and community. To facilitate interaction, keep instructions clear and short so everyone can easily follow along. Encourage young people to be patient and responsive and playful in their approach, as this fosters stronger and more respectful connections. And most importantly, focus on presence over productivity. What matters most is the quality of the shared experience, not the outcome. These practices help build trust, empathy, and mutual respect between generations, laying the foundation for inclusive and joyful collaboration. When we think about meaningful intergenerational engagement, simple and creative activities can have a powerful impact. Storytelling allows older adults to share wisdom while younger participants build listening skills and empathy. Art projects spark creativity and help reinforce memory, especially for those with cognitive challenges. Digital storytelling or working together on technology-based projects fosters collaboration and open space for mutual learning. And of course, let's not forget to mention that music is a universal connector. It brings joy and often unlocks beautiful shared memories. Here are some examples of activities that support intergenerational learning by encouraging storytelling, sensory engagement, creativity, and technology use in ways that are approachable for all ages. So let's start with a memory box project. This allows older adults to share personal items and stories, helping young people build historical awareness and empathy. The memory box pick here contains a link that takes you to a short YouTube video that's about 3 minutes long. It shows just how the items in a memory box can positively impact the elderly with dementia by triggering memories and sparking conversation. Gardening or art projects foster cooperation and sensory connection, while digital tasks like creating a shared video or social media posts promote tech skill exchange and collaboration. The Sharing Songs pick contains a link to a YouTube video where a former musician with dementia is sung to by a professional singer. This triggers his memory and he begins to sing along with her, remembering every word. These activities not only bring meaningful relationships across generations, but also help participants develop communication skills, patience, and mutual respect. By integrating elements that appeal to different abilities and interests, facilitators can ensure everyone feels valued and included. Ultimately, such experiences create a sense of shared purpose and joy, reinforcing the social and emotional benefits of intergenerational engagement. Once we've designed and facilitated meaningful intergenerational activities, the next step is to evaluate their impact, looking not just at what was learned, but also how participants thought, felt, and interacted throughout the experience. Evaluation should cover three important components to provide a well-rounded understanding of each learner's experience. First, the cognitive component can be assessed using accessible quizzes, concept maps, or recorded problem-solving tasks that capture how well learners understand and apply the information they have learned. For example, in a storytelling activity, learners might complete a short concept map showing the sequence of events and key themes, demonstrating their understanding of the story and its lessons. Second, the social component involves observing how learners interact with others. This can be done through tools like observation checklists or peer rating forms. A good example here would be During a collaborative art project, facilitators can use an observation checklist to note how participants share materials and offer help and communicate needs with one another. Third, the emotional component can be explored using mood surveys, reflective journals, or emotion-focused rubrics such as those developed by Castle. Importantly, evaluation should be built into the activity in a seamless and non-intrusive way, ensuring it supports rather than disrupts the learning process. So, after a gardening session, learners could complete a brief mood survey or write a reflective journal entry describing how the activity made them feel, capturing changes in engagement, enjoyment, or confidence. I've provided various resources here with numerous examples for you to check out and hopefully use in your own evaluation of your UDL activities. It's important to mention here that our key facilitators of evaluation tools are care workers and staff, as they are central to dementia care. They are critical for the emotional, cognitive, and social well-being of people living with dementia. For purposes of evaluation, educators should provide care workers and staff with clear guidance, user-friendly templates, and scheduled reflection time. Their insights help track learner engagement and identify areas for improvement. They should be given short, flexible assessment tools that they can complete easily. By empowering staff in this way, evaluation becomes a collaborative and ongoing process rather than a separate task. This approach ensures that feedback is both practical and meaningful, ultimately enhancing the learner experience for participants. Here is a link to the Alzheimer's Society's Observation as a Research Method page in the Dementia Experience Toolkit, which outlines how observing individuals with dementia in their environments can provide valuable insights into their experiences, particularly when verbal communication is limited. This is a great website to help understand how this method helps assess whether people are supported in engaging in meaningful activities, maintaining skills, socializing, and being treated with respect. It also provides crucial information on how to handle ethical considerations carefully to protect privacy and ensure informed consent. To ensure activities remain accessible and inclusive for everyone involved, we must build in regular opportunities for reflection and feedback. Invite youth participants to share their thoughts and experiences and encourage staff or family members to reflect on what worked and what could be improved. It's also essential to include the older generation's perspective, as their insights can help shape more meaningful and respectful engagement. All this feedback should be used to adapt and improve future activities, making the process dynamic and responsive throughout. To make the approach accessible and repeatable, consider creating a clear template or toolkit, like the examples shown here that you can click on and read through. The first is the Visiting Toolkit from the webpage A Teen's Guide to Dementia, which offers practical, teen-friendly suggestions for engaging meaningfully with loved ones who have dementia. It includes accessible activities like puzzles, storytelling, music, art, and reminiscing with old photos, each designed to stimulate memory, foster connection, and reduce anxiety during visits. The second link is for the book, A Creative Toolkit for Communication in Dementia Care by Carrie Marshall, which offers a practical, creative approach to supporting individuals with dementia through nonverbal and sensory-based activities. Marshall has over a decade of experience, and with this book, provides step-by-step guidance on using methods like puppetry, art, and reminiscence to maintain identity, promote emotional well-being, and enhance connection, even when verbal communication is limited. Changing themes every now and then can keep activities fresh and relevant, while displaying progress and revisiting previous work helps build continuity and can offer learners a sense of achievement. These strategies help foster a more inclusive environment, one where everyone's voice matters. Now that we have seen some design strategies and examples of UDL activities, it's essential to consider potential barriers that could limit participation and inclusion. Cognitive barriers might include overly complex instructions or presenting too much information at once, which can overwhelm participants. Linguistic and cultural barriers arise when materials aren't available in participants' first language or when the content lacks cultural inclusivity. Sensory and physical barriers can include noisy environments, small fonts, or tools and materials that are physically inaccessible. Digital barriers may involve complicated login systems, a lack of tech support, or platforms that aren't user-friendly. Emotional barriers, such as failure of fear, feelings of isolation, or sessions that are too long, can prevent participants from fully engaging. And finally, social and psychological barriers may cause individuals to experience isolation from their peers, discouraging open communication, which can prevent learners from seeking the support they need, further hindering their involvement. By identifying and addressing these barriers in advance, which is at the foundation of UDL, we can create learning environments that are truly welcoming and accessible to all. So, to proactively modify a learning environment with all these barriers in mind, educators can support learners by allowing them to choose the tasks and tools that best suit what they feel their needs and preferences are. Incorporating visual aids and providing materials in multiple languages can also enhance understanding and inclusivity. Designing sessions to be short yet meaningful helps keep learners engaged, while again, a proactive approach to planning ensures the sessions meet diverse needs. Lastly, it's important to prioritize learners' presence and participation over just productivity. This helps foster a supportive and welcoming learning environment. So, some things to keep in mind. Encourage young people to take on the role of facilitators rather than performers. This empowers them and fosters genuine collaboration. Maintaining a consistent routine can offer structure and comfort for everyone involved. Use technology as a supportive tool, not as a replacement for meaningful interaction. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but authentic engagement. And finally, always take the time to reflect and gather feedback from youth, staff, and older participants to continually improve the experience for all. Here are some further examples of activities specifically aimed at seniors with dementia that can be conducted even at home. This web link offers practical and sensory-rich activities to engage individuals with dementia in a home setting. Suggestions include watching nostalgic movies, listening to music, browsing photo albums, folding laundry, and participating in simple crafts or puzzles, each tailored to stimulate memory and provide emotional comfort. Even more examples will be available in the upcoming Hands Together Learning Pack. So, we are nearly at the end of this webinar. To wrap up, let's revisit a few key points. Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, helps us create inclusive experiences that support learners of all ages. Clear learning objectives ensure that our activities remain purposeful, focused, and accessible. Creative activities like art, storytelling, and technology projects can foster empathy and bring generations together through shared joy. Evaluating outcomes allows us to reflect and continuously improve our approach. And most importantly, inclusivity and accessibility should be at the heart of our planning, right from the very beginning. By integrating diverse perspectives and considering the unique needs of each participant, we create richer, more meaningful learning experiences. This thoughtful approach not only benefits participants in the moment, but also cultivates long-term understanding, respect, and connection across generations. Here is a list of references used in today's webinar. And here is the Hands Together Consortium. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching our webinar on designing inclusive intergenerational learning activities. To stay updated on the project's progress, you can visit the Hands Together website and follow the project's social media accounts on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Stay tuned for upcoming Webinar 5, Community-Based Intergenerational Learning, and Webinar 6, Intergenerational Learning for People with Early Signs of Dementia. Again, thank you and bye.